Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the UnCalled Four. What grinds our gears? You've come to the right place if you're wanting to see some stupidity being trounced. And now, if I may, I'll hand it off to Ilya.
Thank you, Amy. How are you this lovely evening?
I am great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I know that you guys are within a couple of weeks of the new Autism show coming live, aren't you? That's exciting.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm ready for that to start.
I'm positive you are, and I think you and Dick are going to do a fantastic job with it.
Thank you.
So let's start going around the table and saying hellos and see what people have going on. Mommy.
Ilya.
What's going on in your world? You got more Minecraft coming out this week? Please say you do.
Yeah, hopefully have one. Hopefully tomorrow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to work on recording mine in the morning, but yeah, it'll get out tomorrow. And I just put a video out yesterday about the I will not be ignored when wives strike back. So hopefully that's been received pretty well. So
I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
I think we need to shill it some more. If you haven't gone to watch the When Wives Strike Back video on Glober Mommy's channel, you need to go do so. It's fantastic.
I'll go ahead and put the link in the side chat so they can
get to
for
it. Sure. Well, we're glad to have you with us tonight, as always.
Yes, thank you. Glad to be here.
SciStrikeling.
Hello. How is everybody tonight?
You doing good?
Awesome.
What's coming up for you? I know you'll have the normal movie night and stuff this week.
Yep, Friday night is movie night as always, and I'm working on my next photography tutorial video, so hopefully that'll be out by the end of this week. And that's about it for right now.
Awesome. We're so excited about the photography. When I watched your first one, it was so well put together.
Well, thank you. I did have a lot of help thanks to, Dick Dawson and Steaming Cup of Reason definitely helped with both of those. So I appreciate them both as well.
They are fantastic resources, aren't they?
Yes, for sure.
And let's not forget about What About Bull. He is behind the scenes helping produce the show for us tonight. What's going on with you, Mr. Bull?
Not a lot. I'm kind of really looking forward to your new show with Christ Puncher. That's going to be very interesting. And this week on the over on In Time, we are going to actually interview Kyle Curtis.
Oh no.
So that's coming up on the 29th at 2.
Why did Weezer Say It Ain't So just pop in my head right when you said it?
Say It Ain't So would be an appropriate song for this, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I wish you guys the best of luck with that. And you have my undying support. So I love you both. Thank you for always being with us every Sunday night producing our shows. You mean the world to us so much.
Well, thank you very much.
We have a wonderful guest of the night. She is an up-and-coming content creator who is just really making a name of herself, and she has already come into the community with Jen's Little Corner, Atheist Pastor, Critical Cripple, Math Pig, all of them, and just is doing such great things, specifically around climate change. So, Manda, aka Momma Atheist, welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, what do you have coming up on your channel?
I do a show every weekend with Atheist Pastor called Living Critically. We did one last weekend with Aaron Raw. We were supposed to have one today with Eric Murphy, but Atheist Pastor was not feeling that great, so we rescheduled that for next weekend. And I have another climate change video coming out soon, and I have a TV time show that I do every weekend. I'm doing Breaking Bad next weekend with Godless Scummer.
That's going to be great. I love Jeff. He is such a good guy. And I love Chris, Atheist Pastor, and Jen's Little Corner. Everybody in that corner of this community has my heart. I just love them all. So,
me too.
Yeah, for sure. I did just put in the side chat the link to Momma Atheist channel. Please go subscribe. Please go show some love, and please go watch some of her, recent videos, especially the RN Raw. the R and Raw interview and show was fantastic. I watched it. It was great. So let's get her to 300 subs, and that's a challenge I'm putting out to you guys, side chat. Let's share. Let's shill her channel. Let's get her to 300 subs. Heck, let's shoot for 500. Let's do it. So, and just before we get started into the videos tonight, I do want to do a little bit of shilling for the EiE Network, as well as myself with some things coming up. So, of course, this week we've got, on Friday, we've got the Silly Shill show at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then right after that, we've got Barman, who is going to do a late night quiz show on his channel. And where it's going to be Steaming Cup of Reason plus another shill against OK Booma plus another NASA Black site. So that's going to be really fun. It's going to be a late night quiz show. Then on Saturday, we'll have the Silly Shill Saturday show. And right after that, there should be a Pain and Progress episode. Then on Sunday, we'll have Barman's Poker, and we will have the Uncalled For again. Next Sunday's Uncalled For is my birthday celebration, since it's my birthday weekend, and it's also going to be an ally show, so we will have some men joining the panel just to give a little bit of a different flavor for the week. And then after that, the next Uncalled For will be Glober Mommy's YouTube anniversary show, 1 year, and we're going to celebrate with Glober Mommy, and she's invited a guest of her choice to come and join us for the evening. So it'll be all about celebrating Glober Mom and her journey on YouTube. So that will be fun. So just stick around for the next couple of weeks. We have some other great guests lined up all the way into June. You're not going to be disappointed at all. And we also, Punchy and I, as Bull mentioned, are coming out with our own channel. I think Cross Puncher has already put our channel into the chat for you guys to go subscribe to. And he is also going to list our Discord. So you're welcome to come and join. And that way you'll be the first to know when we have our premiere show. Bull is also going to be producing that. And it's just going to be, our show premise is going to be around scary, spooky, creepy conspiracies and stories, and having a good laugh at them and debunking them. So that's going to be our main focus. So that was a lot, but I wanted to make sure I shield for everyone. So that's what's coming up. So stick around for all of that. And with that said, Bull, why don't you name the videos we have for ourselves tonight, and we can do a vote on what we want to watch and break apart first.
Oh boy. Well, let me just read them. We have The Girls of Recession and Lockdown 2020 from Black Pill, apparently.
Oh my god, okay.
Then we have one called MGTOW, just called Consent.
Oh no.
And we also have one called Don't Be Alone with Women, MGTOW.
Oh no.
Oh boy. They all sound fabulous.
But wait,
don't they
there's
sound just
more.
Fabulous.
But wait,
Oh, no.
there's more. Do Not Respect Woman, MGTOW. And then to round out that whole bunch of just women are icky things is Avoid Women Leaders, MGTOW.
Oh jeez.
To be honest with you, I kind of want to figure out what they have to say about consent and how icky it's going to be.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I think that sounds like a good idea.
Linda, you're our guest. What do you think?
I don't know. You really want me to pick?
Bless Amanda's heart. She's like, what the heck have I gotten myself into? Can I cut and run down? Well, they know.
Run away.
Yeah.
You run while you can.
Yeah.
The company is good here, just not quite always the content that we watch. Yeah.
The same on your channel though, Sai.
Why don't we start with the consent one?
I was gonna pick that one, so thank you, Ilya.
Woo! Okay. Well, let's roll it.
Smart men don't get married. Well.
What's up, guys? It's 317RedPill. I hope you're all having a great day today. Let's hop into today's video. So today I kind of want to talk about consent. So pretty much according to Planned Parenthood and feminists alike, they're pretty much the same thing at this point. Consent is reversible. That means however she feels when she wakes up or a few days down the road or what have you, she can basically ruin your life because of it.
Pause.
That little frat paper.
Pause. No, that's not true. Consent is consent. No means no.
Yep.
There is no change in our viewpoint as far as that goes.
And just because we wake up one morning and say yes to something doesn't mean it's yes to everything.
And plus, you can change consent in the middle. It doesn't have to be day to day.
Correct.
It could be moment to moment. So
Yep.
Yeah.
And what does Planned Parenthood have to do with consent? I'd like to know.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, but they have to bring that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Bull. I just needed to address that first bullet point right away because that was the dumbest bullshit I've heard in a while. Okay. Let's move along, Bull.
That South Park made fun of a few years ago with the PC frat house. That consent form, that's going to be null and void. Like I'm telling you right now. Even though they have them to try to curb that, it's not going to matter. Regardless, it's just going to be like how she feels because we live in a gynocentric society. And if you guys remember, I did a video a little while back where there was this guy in the UK, and he went over to this house party, right? And there was this chick, and he thought, she was super good looking, he said that she was attractive, but she was totally plastered, right? And she was saying all these things like, I want you, he started recording this because he knew where this was going. Sure, he wanted to do it, but he also knew she was drunk, it would be taking advantage, things like that. So he pulled out his phone to basically protect himself, and it's clear clear with the audio. He never hooked up with her. He denied it multiple times, but she still tried filing a lawsuit against him, and nothing even happened. Okay, nothing happened, and they try to pull this whole consent thing into it. It was ridiculous. And all this really does is consent's not based on fact anymore. It's not like it's a yes, no. It's all about emotion and how the woman feels. And guess what? The guy's emotions, they're not taken into consideration whatsoever. Just the woman. And
so does everyone recall the more serious UnCalled Four show we had where we showcased actual stories of victims and how we included men?
Yeah, absolutely.
The problem with what he is saying is that if you need to have a frat paper for consent to sign off on prior to doing the quote-unquote deed, then you're doing it wrong. Second, women are factual. 33% of sexual assaults go completely unreported. So for I think it's 5 to 7% of false accusations, there's a whole 33% that actually happen that go completely unaccounted for. And it's an emotional thing.
Well, yeah, you're talking about having to go in and, be examined and stuff like that, but also you have to sit there in front of a cop, a stranger, and explain everything down to the very last detail. Who the fuck wants to do that and go through it all again? There's a
No.
reason women don't report. They need a better system for it. They really do.
They really do. And this guy is one of the reasons why it's really hard to report.
And
Exactly.
then there's those, I don't know if you all know, but the Brock Turner incident years
Yes.
ago.
Oh,
I do.
That was a travesty in my opinion.
Yes.
The dad basically used emotion to get his son off of serving the time he should have served for
Right.
for what he did to her.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that was
And that he got away with that, and a lot of a lot of people were claiming too that it was because of how much money the family had, and
the family had.
I was
and
just gonna
supposedly
say.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that because,
Absolutely.
and the judge.
like if you put the same person, the same thing happened with a person, a non-Caucasian person from a socioeconomic class that's very low, that didn't have the
Right.
money to afford the big old lawyer, they'd have thrown him away for 20 years for what happened.
Yeah.
Correct.
absolutely they would have.
And supposedly the judge had gone to Stanford and was in the same little thing that Brock Turner was in or something. So that was suspect as well. But
Exactly.
So they can't say, it does happen. There's people that do get off scot-free when they do something to somebody, to a woman.
And it is an
Absolutely.
emotional situation. So to sit
Yes.
there and say women get all emotional about it, not factual.
No.
Behind that emotion is facts.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
There's
We had
a question
sorry,
in
go ahead.
chat. Tatty asked, how can you quantify unreported? It's not just who goes to the police. They also find out through therapists and support groups and a whole bunch of different places to know the statistics for how many women are sexually assaulted. Just
Yep.
so you know.
And we had a super chat. So Matt,
Got this scummer for €2, said.
£2.
For £2. Can I call them euros for now? All hail the gynocracy.
Gynocracy.
Gynocracy. Smiley face emoji.
That's right. Thank you so much.
hell the gynocracy. That's right.
That's right.
Yes, thank you for that, Couple Scummer.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Shall we continue down this rabbit hole of bullshit?
Oh. If we have to.
Planned
Suffer for
Parenthood,
everybody else.
they actually have this thing. It's called FRIES. I did a little bit of research on this, and it's basically talking about consent is freely given, reversible, informed, enthusiastic, specific, and that in and of itself is contradictory. All right, if it's informed and it's specific, how are you going to make that reversible? If it's freely given, how's that, like, how are you going to just, like, take that back and then ruin somebody's
dear
somebody's
God, no.
life because of it? Like,
Wait a minute.
they are
wait, can you
teaching.
pause it for a second. Like, okay, a woman decides to take back her consent, so then everything stops. Nobody's life gets ruined. The problem is when consent is taken away and it continues, and then it is sexual assault or rape.
Mhm.
That's when someone's life gets ruined, and it's not just yours; it's the woman's. In fact, it's more the woman's. So
Yep.
fuck that
It's
guy.
more the woman
Oh my
than the
god.
man. Yep.
Fuck that guy. That's right. Hashtag fuck that guy, y'all.
Sorry, I never asked if I could swear on the show. I'm sorry.
Oh no, we
Please, go ahead.
Taylor, don't worry about it.
And like not that I can really see his point so much, but what he's trying to get at is, if a woman or anybody in that position gives consent and then later on says, I didn't consent, I take it back, I didn't consent, what we did is now something I don't consent to. And that I can kind of see a point for anybody, be it man or woman. And I think that, a lot of the times when these things are, when people take advantage of the system and want to get somebody in trouble just because either they broke up with them or whatever the case might be, that they'll use that as their, their standpoint for it. Well, I didn't consent, even though at the time they did. So I can kind of see in that aspect how taking back consent can be a bad thing. But I think obviously he takes it to a severe extreme.
Yes, I completely concur because, if you're in the middle of something, but something's going too far and you say,
Right.
stop.
Right.
I'm not
That's a
comfortable
completely
with it.
understandable.
Yeah.
Then that person should immediately stop.
Mm-hmm.
End of story, no questions.
Absolutely.
And if you consider that reversible consent, that is just bullshit, then guess what?
Yep.
You're full of shit. So,
Yep.
all right, Bull, let's continue.
The meanings of consent all the wrong way, and they're just trying to fit it for whatever advantage they can try and give themselves. And it really ticks me off because there's a lot of guys out there I know that are MGTOW that just play this pump and dump game. And, hey, you do you. That's fine. I'm not going to argue against it. But you guys need to be careful, okay? Because just because you hook up with her one night, she totally agrees and everything, whatever. If she wakes up and she regrets it for whatever reason, okay, your life's going to be ruined. So you guys need to seriously consider the implications of
Pump and
this
dump, I love
whole
that.
new meaning of consent
Yeah.
that
I honestly thought
the
for a minute there
feminists
he was going to
and
turn it
everybody
around and be
have
like, but be the good
dreamt
guy,
up
like he
and
was the good guy.
tried changing
not
the
be that
definition
stuff
of.
like that.
Like,
No.
if it's like
Pause
a
it,
clear yes and no.
I love how he brings up MGTOW, but rather than fuss at them for being quote unquote pump and dump people, he then turns it around back on the women.
Yeah,
Right.
that's because I thought he was actually like sticking up for women, being like, don't treat women like that. That's wrong. But no,
Right.
it's, women are bad because they'll regret sleeping with your stupid ass. So, fuck.
Listen, this guy's dumber. I never thought I would say this, but I really feel like this guy is dumber than Nathan Thompson going on a dating website to flat smack people.
Oh my God. Yes.
Okay. How much time do we have left in this video, Bull?
1 minute and 8 seconds.
We can do it. We can do
We
it.
can do it.
Come
We
on,
can do
push
it.
through.
We can
push
do
through.
it. We can definitely push through.
Yes.
But let's get
And
that super chat first.
yes, please.
Quasia for
5,000 Korean won.
5,000 Korean won said, I just figured Bull needs some recognition since he's the guy that previews and handles all the shit videos today, every day. Hashtag, what
Yeah.
about Brule? What about Bull?
Well,
Good job. Thank you so much.
absolutely, Bull needs some recognition for being behind us and putting this production together so beautifully. However, I will say I'm the one who does the previews of the videos.
Yeah, I was going to defend that actually, Ilya. I don't look at this stuff at any time before, other than to download it, which is literally just the first few frames of the video I see. But before that, I don't look at it. I'm just as shocked as the rest of the panel. The only one who's seen these in any appreciable measure is Ilya.
Yes, so you know what my life is like every day. I need more hair dye, but because my grays are coming through pretty good. But
Too late.
get through it.
Where are you gonna go?
Okay, let's push through the rest of this video. And oh my gosh, I'm sorry, cross puncher. Even my hand tells me no. Jesus. Okay.
I know.
I don't want to know what your hand tells you.
TMI.
Yes.
All right, let's push through.
Like, I guarantee you that there have probably been multiple cases where literally consent is clear. And then, for whatever reason, girl doesn't like it, cries rape, cries wolf, and the dude's life is totally ruined. It's ridiculous. We've seen so many cases of basketball players, athletes, football players, baseball players, just about anything you could think of. They get the consent. The girl just tries to get some money out of it. It's awful. So,
Oh God, that's not
look,
what that's
guys,
about.
the definition of consent is changing. It's no longer like firm and in place. They keep shifting the goalposts. So be careful out there if you try to run this pump and dump game, because it's getting pretty risky. That's all I have for this video, you guys. Be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. 317RedPill.
Wow.
Is anyone else surprised that the phrase blue balls did not come up in that video?
Yeah.
No, but I would say based on his philosophy around women, he probably has that quite often.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I mean, like, your hand doesn't count as a girlfriend, honey. Sorry.
No, no.
Not how that works.
No. Okay, so Bull, give us. I know we have a Copeland in there, don't we?
Oh no.
Yeah, I forget which one it is because I didn't label the content creator. Let me look real quick because it's in here. It is the Girls of Recession and Lockdown 2020. So should we go into it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think we need to give Amanda a real taste
Oh no.
Oh boy.
of what we have dealt with up to this point.
Oh,
So,
mean Ilya.
The title sounds a little porny to me, so I don't know.
Doesn't it though? Doesn't it though?
wait till you hear this guy talk. He is a true blue incel.
Yeah, you can't ignore the brackets on the title which say black pill, by the way.
Yes,
The voice matches his demeanor. It's perfect for him.
yes. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes, hello listeners, and welcome back to Copeland as the 2020 coronavirus lockdown continues. The fact that we don't know where this thing ends gives us some scope to consider where we might want to find ourselves long term, because we have lost a lot of our ability to plan for the short to mid term. I keep getting frustrated that I can't geomax to unicorn, and I can't dumpster dive for low-tier women or sugar babies at this time. All we can consider is the kind of structure that we might undertake to be prepared for the long game. That whatever normal we are returning to, there will certainly be a new normal. I mostly struggle now with the fact that because I am on a farm with the internet, I'm not suffering really at all. I mean, maybe I will run short on a few things I can't get from the supermarket, but mostly it will involve watching how this whole nightmare starts to unfold and weathering it out, waiting for when the opportunity to take advantage occurs, because this is how I understand the situation strategically. Chad is tall and good looking. The only advantages I have is that I am smart, I am non-threatening, so I don't find it that challenging to put women at ease with me. And of course I have my farm as my passive income earning asset, which is most important because the conditions of the pandemic has just made Chad's life so much harder, because Chad must comply with the enforcement of the state. Chad...
So just so everyone's aware, if you do not know incel terminology, a unicorn is the perfect woman. He said he was going dumpster diving for low grade, like he couldn't even go dumpster diving for low grade women. So, and sugar babies. So, thanks. I don't think they care. And, yeah, a Chad is supposed to be the perfect specimen male. So I just wanted to clarify what that terminology meant that he was saying. Unfortunately, I don't know all the incel terminology. So, hey, Mr. Serious, can you go find the video that Cheshire Vic did on the incel terminology and link it so that way people can go see what the terminology is. She did a great video specifically around what the terminology is in incel. So if you want to know more about incel terminology so you understand what he's talking about, that's a great video to watch. Okay, we'll go ahead and play it again. I just wanted to give some terminology information.
Under the hammer of the huge economic crisis we are about to enter. Chad is getting kicked out of his place because he can't pay the rent, and Stacy is also under pressure as the system buckles and our society shifts more towards what we have seen in places like Ukraine, where the government is not trusted and a civil war has broken out. We are not likely to see things get that bad in our own countries, but immense pressure is coming down on those who do not have absolute security like I do. Land, a home you own freehold, a community with abundant resources for food and practical skills. So, strategically, I've gained an edge over Chad now. The forces of Chad have broken formation, while the forces of Copeland remain holed up in Helm's Deep, ready to ride forth once the coast is clear. We must follow these arguments now.
I take exception with your J.R.R. Tolkien reference, Helm's Deep. Really? You're claiming that for yourself? You asshole.
I just don't think I can hear him say Chad one more fucking time.
Kuyasa said, Helm's Deep my ass.
Thank you, Kuyasa.
Does he not realize that if he has land with food and everything runs out in the cities, where do you think people are going to go? They're going to start spreading out to the countryside, and they're going to go for anything they can find.
Yeah.
So he better well have some good protection for that land that he owns.
Yep. Or the Chads are going to come take it. Oof.
That's right.
Oof. Just sit on that, Copeland.
He needs to sit on something.
And rotate. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's go on with this.
Black-pilled men, that paradigm shifts like this one of one of the few chances you will get to break away or find the Achilles heel of the golden warrior Chad in the confrontation of competition. Amidst a changing situation, you remember Chad is not your friend. Chad never let us have the scraps when the serenity and stability of order prevailed. So when it starts to break down, and we are all called to be resourceful in whatever manner we might choose.
When he says scraps, does he mean women?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
He strikes me as the kind of guy that's like, brings a woman home and goes, okay, here's your money. Now leave me. Go away.
No,
You know?
he has her fucking make him a sandwich first.
Well, yeah, but it's like, are you still here? You should be gone by now. That's the kind of guy he is.
He wonders why if he thinks of women this way, and but he can't figure out why he can't get laid. Really?
He pays women to sleep with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not our first rodeo.
He prearranges them to come, and he's like, I'll give you money. You know? Exactly.
Mm. But yes, you heard that correctly. We are scraps.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We are just scraps to him.
That's right.
That's what I was going to call out too. So,
Sorry.
no,
Hey, you got to
no.
first. No problem.
You're good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure we called out that he was calling women scraps. Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yep. All righty, Bull.
You might realize why other mid-tier men and low-tier men are on your side and have nothing to gain, but high-tier men and feminists have nothing to gain and everything to lose when the old order starts to break down. You might understand all of this, but women don't. They don't think that way. They are scared, anxious, frightened. They look to a man who can take the bad feeling away. They look to daddy. They will never understand that toxic masculinity that they hate and they fear is also the aggressive protectiveness that drives a man to defend his woman. That's what they do not seem to understand. the moral trade-offs that come with violence and power. And so there is nothing we can do right now except to wait and watch, knowing that when things reach the next level of panic and pain, we must remain calm and see what's happening, assess the situation, and act.
When he's talking about trade-offs, does he mean, like, I protect you, you fuck me? Is that what he means?
Basically.
Okay. Just wondering.
I protect you, and you fuck and you cook and you clean for me, basically.
Yeah,
That's
that's
his
exactly
mentality.
Yep.
Is a woman needs to be at home taking care of family, and she must be a 10. She must be a unicorn.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's pretty disgusting, but people like this really exist.
Yeah, I know. I've met some of them, so.
And I don't know what he means by the old order, but
I don't either.
The only thing I can think of is the old way of things was women were at home and took care of themselves, and men were the ones who worked.
When we couldn't
Yep.
vote or have a
Pretty
bank
much.
account or anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't have opinions, that kind of thing. Oh, women, you don't need to go to school. You're only good for one thing. That kind of
Yeah.
deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty, let's go on.
In the appropriate way, the OODA loop. We don't know how far it will go, but we know that this aspect of a more primal environment will form while we are in a fluid, volatile, uncertain situation. So inevitably, I must pick up some of the ideas I was running with before this whole virus thing shut us down. I was talking to one sugar baby, and I had a couple of other leads of local 18, 19-year-old girls. What you immediately see is that the seed is already in the ground. Snapchat, Instagram. Isn't it fascinating how we plotted out the strategic trajectory of these trends, and we can see now everything we talked about is just waiting to be crunched now into place. It will just be too easy for these girls to sell their asses online. Too easy. And that's what they will do. Except you have to follow me as I leap to the next concept tied to this. That you have to game these little whores. You have to game them in order to pay them for their pussies, because you have to understand the dreadful...
Okay, first let's get to the super chat, and then we will...
Okay, sure.
Crafty Keela for £1.
€1 $9.49. Excuse you.
Crafty Keela for €1.49 sended a unicorn.
Yeah, that's right. She did. Thank you so much.
Excuse me.
So what this guy is saying, in a nutshell, is that women are nothing but whores to be bought.
Yep.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what
Am I right
happens
thinking
when
that
he
if-
goes to his doctor, like he goes to a new doctor and didn't realize it was a woman and walks in and, his doctor's a woman. How does he fucking deal with that?
I have no idea. I'm sure if it happened, he'd create a video about it.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
probably.
But, I mean, did you hear what he was saying about young girls, 18, 19, and he's got some lined up?
Yep. And he uses them to get others for leads for others.
Yep.
Mhm.
18, 19-year-old girls are still girls.
Mm-hmm.
They are not women yet. No offense. It's just that they are still young. They're still naive.
Their brain's still developing.
When I was 18, 19 years old, I didn't know my head from a hole in the ground, right? I was still learning so much.
I call that my young and stupid stage. That's what I call
Yeah.
it.
Pretty much.
And when you have a mature male in his 30s like Copeland is, mature is subjective in this case, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is when you have an older man who is specifically targeting that age group for leads for sexual dominant purposes, it's disgusting.
And am I right in remembering that if they get to a certain age in their 20s, they're like used goods to him or something?
I think it was 27?
Yeah, I forget what it was. It was.
I
In
think
late
it was
20s.
27. That once you hit
Yeah.
27, you're no longer good.
Yeah.
That's a different video we watched. I mean,
Yeah.
just so you know.
Wow.
Mhm.
That's great.
Oh, honey, I'm 39 next Saturday. I am way like chopped up liver, no good anymore.
Oh gosh.
I'm chewed up and
Yeah.
spit out.
Yeah, what's funny with him though is he talks about, oh, I've got my land. If something happens, I've got my land. Well, what are you going to do if when you get antsy and want something? Who are you going to turn to then? You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he
His
thinks
hand,
that far
apparently.
ahead. Yeah, right. But I don't think he
No.
thinks that far ahead. He doesn't think like, oh, what happens if? You know?
Here we
Then
go.
we have to make his hand like clean the house and make him a sandwich and shit. And
That's true.
completely mess it all up for him. So.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do it in my best Southern voice. Y'all ready?
All right, let's go.
I am 39 next Saturday, ladies. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Who's ever gonna want me again?
Oh no, bless you.
Waiting for a little
Sure.
drama at the end there, so I'll never be late again.
I'll never get laid again.
Oh no, what shall I do? Yeah.
How will I fix my car? How will I change the doorknob? Who will take the trash out for me?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Let me throw that Southern Belle out the window and get back into
There you go.
here.
All right.
All right. Let's keep going.
level that this shit is about to descend into. Because, you know, we're enabling a structure here that gives power, so much power, to 19, 20, 21-year-old girls. And Snapchat wants bitches to pedal out their asses. I don't know if the plan is to lock us all in our houses, so we have to pay these chicks on Snapchat or whatever webcam shows to give us something to wank off over and pretend to be our online girlfriends. But there's going to be a recession. And there's no way that the elites are going to let these whores get away with selling their asses and not taking a cut. That's the game. So the new world order is you in your home paying your UBI over for hyperinflated food and cam shows with these little sluts who are also on the UBI, forced in their home. Of course, this is all sci-fi speculation shit, but what I'm trying to do is give you a whiff of what's in the air. Not because this is what's going to happen, but so you can read the play. And when you read the play of what's happening, you can say, okay, I get it now. I get what's happening. I get where these pressures that are expressing themselves, I understand how they are manifesting. You know, I had some fat girl I was banging for a few weeks and she had a bad attitude. And my unicorn in Belarus would have also made my life a misery, wringing money out of me and making me make bad money decisions so that she can have a nice life. So, in the end, before this lockdown came down, I became...
What? So she's going to force him to spend money? Spend his money on things she wants? When he's in control of his money? God.
It's
I don't
such
even know
a
where to begin with that.
it's such a projection of responsibility versus ability.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's such a cop out on his part. It's ridiculous.
Whores, sluts,
Mm-hmm.
asses.
Yep.
I dated a fat chick. Like, why? Why do you even have to say that? Like,
yeah.
like, sorry, what's wrong with some curves? And,
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with being thin. There's nothing wrong with being curvy. There's just nothing wrong with it. And if you're going to call a woman fat, it's just as disgusting as calling a woman
Right.
a whore or a slut to me.
And
It's just
honestly,
gross.
if all he's looking at for is a piece of ass, what does he care what she even looks like? He's just
Right.
going to do what he wants to do with her and then kick her to the curb.
He's one of the pump and dump ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he has standards for what he does anything to.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Double
Apparently.
standard there much?
Yeah.
Wow.
We got some housekeeping to do, don't we?
Oh my gosh.
We
yeah.
sure do.
Crafty Keeler for €2 said hashtag triggered.
She's right.
Yeah. Well, Copeland has given us bountifuls of videos for us to choose from and rip apart. I only did one this time, y'all. Just one. It's not like the last time where it was like 5. But,
Yeah.
oh gosh.
But Ilya,
Okay.
you're forgetting one small detail about this video. And that is its length. It is 23 minutes long. 24
And he
almost.
says
Lord.
nothing. He's not basically saying nothing.
Well, that's exactly it. Before
Yeah.
we do that, can I just get the second super chat?
Yes.
Surf for $5 said, are all men named Copeland as bad as this guy and the Cone Man preacher? Earth.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Okay. How far are we into this bull?
We are currently 7 minutes in.
Okay.
Oh,
We have,
God.
Wow.
we have 16 minutes
more
left.
minutes.
Okay. Let's try to get to like the halfway mark at 12 minutes before we go chipmunk mode.
Will do.
Okay.
I'm adamant that I don't want these chicks in my house. It's a drag. I mean, yeah, if she's hot, maybe it will take you months instead of weeks to get sick of her, but sooner or later you regret it because your life isn't much fun because the sex just doesn't make up for the intrusion in your life. And so now I'm just like, oh, fuck it. I'm putting $200 aside a week to spend on sugar babies. And I'm going to make my mission to basically get the most quality I can out of that money by continuing to bargain hard, finding hotter girls and slowly convincing them to give me a better deal, because you know as well as I do that eventually the same girl isn't as sexually exciting anymore. And the moment it's not exciting, guess who holds the power? These girls don't understand business. They don't understand economics. I've tried to put a few ideas into their heads, but they just don't take. And the fact that these girls are trying to do business, they're entering into a business situation. Well, this one.
I love
Sorry.
you guys. I really do.
I had to just point out that he's making a better name for a prostitute, or
Yes.
he's just using he's not using the term sugar baby or anything like that in the way it's meant to be used. He's literally just doing it as a way to get around prostitution.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yep.
It's disgusting. He's like, try to find hotter ones and talk them in and
Try
negotiate.
to bargain.
It's like I'm trying to talk them into doing certain things, but they just don't want to do them. It's like, gee, I wonder why.
This isn't the flea market. You can't
No.
you don't bargain for your woman. Like, that's not how this works.
He's
No.
clearly never been loved before, though, because to say, like, have this person in my house or whatever is an intrusion,
Yeah.
but if you love someone and you have a connection with them and intimacy and stuff, it's you make each other's lives better. Calling them an intrusion, yeah, he's clearly never been loved before, so.
Correct. And I've decided that my new safe word is going to be Copeland.
Yeah. Well, sorry for interrupting there, but I just had to point out that he was
no, that's fine.
just redefining words to fit his needs.
Exactly.
Yep, I gotcha. No, you're
He's
good.
never satisfied either. You could tell he's never satisfied.
Exactly.
Okay, well let's go on.
With sharks, guys who understand business and understand how markets work. We here at Copeland need to start getting real. We're getting black-pilled here about the future and how it's going to be. Not because this is how we want it to be, but this is what's going to result from these rapid changes that are going to unfold in the next year or two. It's going to be like this. Going out the back of Belarus and Ukraine to find a unicorn is going to be about as wild and crazy as actually going to Africa to shoot animals. It's that wild and fucking off the wall that it's just crazy, but of course that's why I will do it. Because when you go back to civilization, all you're going to have is these little 19-year-old sluts everywhere with tattoos and fucking dumb as shit who all want your $200 and will take it if you game them a little bit and play the whole stupid feminine game that you're chasing it and she's submitting, when reality, she just wants the $200 to spend on herself, to buy fucking shoes, handbags, makeup, shitty food, frappes, you know, consumer fuckery. But there's no need to get all mad about it. That's just what you...
About consumer fuckery, the guy who buys hookers, okay? Really?
Well, and let me just also make it clear. I know some women who have been strippers and who have done those things. And let me tell you, it is not because they enjoyed being a piece of meat up on a stage for men to throw their money at. It's because they had a young child at home and had no other way to pay the bills or whatever the case may be. So if you think that a lot of these women, this is just their life's dream to be a sugar baby and to get paid and to be a hooker and to be on the street, you don't know what you're talking about. Also, Jenny Morgan had a question for the panel, and it was, how about a woman who's never been loved? What's the difference? I don't think it's a difference in sexes who haven't been loved. I think it's a difference in how you react to it.
Yeah,
so attitude. Like his attitude is shitty.
Yes.
Because he has taken what has happened in his life and turned it into a way to justify his hate and his anger for women. Whereas, you know, it doesn't matter what sex you are, you can have that same thing happen in your life where you've never felt loved and you've been through hard times, but how you react to it is the deciding factor.
Right. And I kind of worry about you know, a woman that hasn't been loved with him, because he kind of is buying their love, and it's more worrisome, I think, for a woman that's never been loved, because they might be looking more for that validation and that, you know, that love, that they're willing to let him buy it. You know what I mean? They're kind of willing to let him do these, you know, demeaning things just to feel loved, even if it's not real.
And also, just for the record, you can be in relationships with people and not feel loved.
A situation like that is also the perfect potential for abuse as well. When you
right.
a woman that hasn't been loved before getting into a relationship with a man like this, and feeling that she gets all her validation from him, and he cuts her off from family and friends and pretty much runs her life, and whether it be emotional or physical abuse, that's how shit like this happens.
Right.
Especially given how most prostitutes end up in that business in the first place. Let's face it, most of them don't do that as a first career choice.
Correct.
It's done as a, I don't have anything else to do right now. I'm broke. I'm dead. If I don't do this, I'll be homeless and dead. And that's basically
very much a last resort.
It's a very much a last resort kind of profession.
And sometimes it's also drug related. I mean, we're not going to take away from the fact that there are situations where young women do find themselves addicted to drugs, and then, you know, drugs change people, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get that next hit or that next pill, whatever the case may be. It's an unfortunate reality we live in. So it's not always these young women who are just trying to pay the bills. Sometimes it's drug addiction. We need, at least in America, we need better resources for mental health care and for drug addiction, period. That's my opinion on that.
No, absolutely. We do, and we need to get rid of the stigma on it as well. So
that's exactly right. And Doorknob Head, you're exactly right. People don't change people. Drugs change people. You're correct. Yep. Absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Bull, let's go ahead and crank it up to like 150. Let's see a little bit of chipmunk mode.
Yeah.
She wants. And it's only as bad that she wants all kinds of consumer crap than it is that you will happily give her $200 and simp her out with your clowny fucking game. So as always, she doesn't, you gotta get this, she doesn't have to feel like a whore. Because that's why they call it sugar baby. You know, you got to understand what these girls are doing. It's just whoring. You know, $200 an hour, but they want to call it sugar baby. They want to call you to say that they're a sugar baby because these bitches will never ever admit they are whores. And you can just laugh your little laugh to yourself about how funny that it all is, because as we will see, this is how we're exploiting their weakness, because they can't get the proper optical clarity on what's going on. This is all the economics of the situation we are looking at when a recession, which is more likely to be a full depression, that will be like nothing in our lifetimes, a couple of years of very high unemployment, desperation for work, total capitalistic destruction of inefficiency and comforts, fat trimmed, putting more pressure on people who did not see this coming, when it has been truly obvious for quite a while now. Well, this is all likely not even the playing, but to break up the formation, we must see this situation as so many players will be seeing it. Massive structures must break formation. And that's where opportunities lie, we can move on. You will likely see me waiting for when travel is possible again and selecting the right location for our renewed strategic perspective on an incel attack. Especially if an area has become unstable, like Turkey was 2 years ago, where there is a tense situation politically as well as an economic disaster. You are better in a group where you are not vulnerable. I think this may become more important as we get ready, full-on incel commando missions into various countries, knowing how the pattern goes and how we execute our strategy, evacuating girls to Georgia, where girls from just about any country can get in. You see, strategic planning. You hear Copeland to learn. That's the angle. It's back home that I am looking to beta bucks as sugar babies, and forget about all the bullshit of chasing pussy altogether. We must be aware that we don't know.
Wow.
Even in chipmunk mode, he sounds absolutely aberrant, abhorrent. Good Lord. Get my words out. He gets me flustered, and not in the good way. Manda, what were you saying? You asked a question.
Is he really comparing his like misogyny and his distaste for how women treat him in society to like geopolitical issues like instability in Turkey? Like that's fucking nuts. That's not just stupid, that's nuts.
Yes, he is literally nuts, I believe. So, yeah. I also heard him talking there, too, about the incel command and how the incel command would need to come to rise. I mean, it was going pretty fast. I don't know if y'all caught that, but he did say that.
Okay, I didn't catch it.
What does that mean exactly?
It means that incels rise up.
Oh, okay. Good luck with that. That's fun.
It's nothing for us to really worry about because, No.
Because actual men would come up to them and just fucking say, "You're stupid, fucking quit," and beat the shit out of them if they tried to.
Right.
That's what would happen if the incels try to uprise.
That's right.
Jenny Morgan, rise up but can't get it up.
Yes, Jenny.
That's about right. That's about right, Jenny. I love me some Jenny Morgan.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Okay, let's proceed with chipmunk mode.
What will happen with international travel and how long it will take to get back to normal. So we must sharpen our beta bucks game, because if we can sharpen our technique at home, we know we're going to be able to play the same game, but with hotter chicks when we arrive overseas into these, precarious crisis situations. We're honing the strategy here. We're ready to strike. So what are the real issues about committing $200 a week to paying a woman directly some young bit of fluff to maintain some kind of sexual friendship? A friends with benefits that is actually real, because the benefits go both ways. It's not just a phrase that Becky uses so she doesn't feel any guilt whatsoever that Chad comes over to smash her after some simp, maybe you, maybe me, bought her dinner. We don't buy these chicks dinner because some college girl will happily suck your dick as long as you never make her feel like a whore or call her a whore and call her a sugar baby, because that's all she wants. She just wants the money in her hand and to not be treated like a whore. This is the weakness in women's reasoning that as filthy-ass, black-pilled, high IQ guys, we are exploiting. She exploits the fact that we need to put it in the hole. We exploit the fact that she feels she needs to extract some provision in exchange for letting a man put it in her hole. So that's why when when she lets Chad smash, afterwards she feels a bit slutty, maybe rape allegation. But when she lets your fucking beta bucks ass smash, that's because there's a transaction taking place, and she's actually accepting money, so you better get her a seat. That way you're protected from me too, aren't you? So this is the wretched state we are in as humans. That we know that women want to get fucked, they want to get money, and they want to go shopping. It makes them happy. Just like I know, having suffered the unicorn virus in 2019, that I want to give my unicorn my money and put repeated babies inside of her, and I am almost helpless against it. Giving your money to a woman like this makes me very sad, and I can't really tell you that it is a very good idea, but I don't want a woman in my house. I don't want a fucking drama with Becky Bumble. I think that I want to come with her to her fucking brother's wedding or some bullshit, or even have a kid with her one day, with her fucking old, deluded ass that's, tearing into her 30s. I don't want it. Hot young chicks, on the other hand, are a pain in the ass. They're stupid as shit, but these are your choices. I believe that we need to have a look, and that, well, let's have a look. A big problem is no long-term gain on your investment. That money is just gone. But I will be hoping to build solid provider value with these girls. And you have to understand a little bit about human behaviour. First, we see that our target is often a young woman who doesn't know any better. She doesn't see the damage she's doing. And this is so often how it is with young people. They are reckless. These women are engaged in gratifying and indulging their own egos with reckless sexual behaviour in order to trade off for materialist gain. But if they become reliant on the ease of receiving money from you, they will slowly become dependent on you to a certain extent because of how easy it is to get that money for the thing that they want. They want to compete with their friends who are also getting mid-tier guys to hand over cash, because as this trend spreads, it becomes a naughty little rivalry between hot Stacys trying to outdo each other and tricking out their asses for cash. Except while they're laughing about how much money they're making, we know the economics of it. Once again, it is the desperate greed of their flawed human natures that leads them into this trap. I scarcely hold myself responsible for using my brain to work this out, how to get the pussy I'd like, when really you know. I just want to go back to Belarus and wait for my unicorn to divorce the guy she's about to marry, and then pick her up in a few years from now as a good quality.
Get the pussy I like. Jeez.
I was wondering, I mean, he referred to himself as a high IQ guy. Have you ladies ever known anybody in your life who had a high IQ that had to refer to themselves as having a high IQ?
No.
Only flirts do that.
Well, they clearly don't have high IQ if they're flirts, so come on. But just thought that was interesting, but okay.
I like what Jenny Morgan said. I don't get this guy. If it wasn't for prostitution, he'd never have sex. What's the deal?
God. And he talked about getting it. He treats women like commodities, like they're investments in his economic future or something like that, like their stocks.
Yeah.
He's so angry that he has to give these women he pays to have sex with money.
You should be happy he's getting something in return.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He's such a douchebag.
Jeez.
I would call him a cunt, but he doesn't possess the warmth or the depth.
No, that's an insult to cunt, son. So I wouldn't even do
Yeah, he's a twat.
No. I like the word twat too much to describe this guy with. No.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
He's a twant. It's a cross between a twat and a cunt.
He's a twit.
He's a little shit is what he is.
Yeah. But the
But
poop emoji is too good for him.
That's right.
Oh my
This guy is the real stuff.
Okay. Okay. Oh my gosh. How much longer do we have in this shit?
No, please tell me it's almost over.
5 minutes, 55 seconds.
Oh,
Fuck me.
Oh God.
oh my God.
Will he pay
No
me to
more.
finish listening to him talk?
But that's real time, so Chipmunk Mode does shave some of that off.
About 7
Okay. I guess I can survive that
Alright,
long.
well,
I've survived
okay.
worse. So.
We've gone this far with it.
Yep.
Well, let's try to bust through this, and then we'll get to the next video, which won't be any more helpful.
Probably not.
Second-hand retread. Yes, my unicorn. I am talking figuratively, of course, but far be it beyond me to think that once my unicorn gets spat out of a divorce, she might be more used to me, knowing she's a retread. And this may sound all very fanciful, but in reality, I am getting my head on the issue. I'm modelling it. $200 for these little whores until I jump on the plane to Belarus or to wherever the economic disaster area is causing unicorn opportunities. That's for our brave incel soldiers, so that one day I can marry up some super trad milf, perhaps with a daughter.
This is the only way that this becomes, worth watching is when we get
bearable.
Yes. Okay, let's take a vote in the chat on gonging this video. Chat, put a 1 in the chat if you want us to move to the next video, or a 2 if you want to finish this one out.
I have a feeling I know the result.
Yes. People say gong already, so.
Yeah.
Oh, 9. Oh, 9. Gosh, I was saying 2. Jenny, 2. Oh, you guys want to. Oh, no. Gosh, you can't keep voting. No, you already voted.
Twice.
9. No. One vote per person.
Yes. Please vote multiple times now.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez.
I think it's an overwhelming.
It's an overwhelming one.
Yes, I agree.
Do you have
Look at it. It keeps going. 9 keeps going and going and going.
Do you have it down for this, Bull? Bull, do you have it? Hit it.
Hit it, please.
I don't have the gong sound in this show yet. Sorry.
Oh no.
Okay. Gong.
Perfect.
There you go.
Well, all I have is a bell, so that'll have to do for now.
There we go. That works.
I like
For what?
that works.
Oh my Lanta. Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, so we have another video. We'll just put one in. I'm not even going to try anymore.
Surprise us.
Ow. My cat really wants to be a part of the show.
Oh my goodness, tell me about it. Mine bit my arm before. I was like, hey.
Well, I'm kind of curious about the women leaders thing, so let's kind of go into that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Let's do it. Ouch.
Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about female leadership, and I'm going to give you 3 qualities and attributes that we're seeing materialize now that we have so many women that have been CEOs and world leaders for the past 10 or 20 years. Now, you're going to want to watch this video because we're talking about Sheryl Sandberg, which is the COO of Facebook, and because she is having an effect on everybody's lives, your life as a man, she's having a direct impact on your life. Now these women are entering into these positions of extreme power. So with that being said, let's jump into it. Okay, to establish a little bit of context, we're talking about Sheryl Sandberg. She's worth close to $2 billion. She's one of the most rich, powerful, influential women in the world. She's the COO of Facebook. And she was born to a Jewish family. She went to Harvard. She's making 7-figure jobs before she even hit the age of 30. So with that established, what we were seeing with a lot of these ultra-powerful women is that they're exhibiting this behavior that is reflective of the different ways that men and women orient themselves in the world and how they view themselves differently in the world. I'm going to give you 3 things that we see them doing very consistently. Number 1 is that they prioritize their own personal social sexual agenda above the job itself. So if you go out and Google Sheryl Sandberg or YouTube it, you'll see 100 interviews where all she talks about is what it's like to be a woman in the workplace and the various challenges she faces with that.
The very blunt truth is that men still run the world. But what about the women's revolution? I think we're stalled. And I think we need to acknowledge that we're stalled so that we can change it.
Are you trying to reignite the revolution?
I think so. This is deeply personal for me. I want every little girl who someone says they're bossy to be told instead, you have leadership skills.
Because you were told you were bossy.
Because I was told that.
All right, so that's it. That's her agenda. She's trying to advocate for women in the workplace and all that stuff. And how this would correlate to men. Picture Jeff Bezos going out and doing 100 interviews of what it's like to be a bald CEO, or goes out and writes a book about what it's like to be a bald CEO, or cites all these.
Why isn't it an agenda just to want to promote women in places of power? How is that a fucking agenda?
How is that a bad thing?
What does being bald have to do with?
Yeah.
You know, how you identify with your gender. What does that have to do?
It's not even that. It's the fact that women have had to work hard to overcome and be able to get these positions of power because we've been kept behind for a long time.
Yes.
Bald men haven't. It's not like bald men 50 years ago couldn't fucking get a job or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, for what she accomplished, from what he said, what she accomplished, I mean, she knew exactly what she wanted to do, and she got it done.
That's should not be a bad proud thing. Of herself.
She should be proud.
Yes. And yes. And also, can we just briefly talk about his intro, Science Dog?
Yes. I saw like.
Are you a scientist? What are you? What are you sciencing?
Yeah.
The science of idiocy. That's pretty much it so far. I love how he originally spelled science wrong, though. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Super chat.
Did we have a super chat? I don't know.
Did we? No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I didn't see
Okay.
it. I just saw some green.
Okay, well, let's continue on with this bull. Oh, hippity hoppity, she took half my... Do you see that? I just noticed what the team said. Oh, geez. Okay, let's go on, bull.
Studies about the slights he deals with in the office. Or you could talk about Mark Zuckerberg, and if he wrote a book about what it's like to be a short CEO, or all the challenges you face as a short man in society and all that stuff, and just obsess over this data. It's off-putting when men do that because of the different way we view men. Men will shut down and they'll disrespect and they'll remove men out of leadership positions that promote this kind of victimhood and this vulnerability rather than succeeding in spite of it and ignoring their weaknesses and downplaying their weaknesses. Whereas women will often exemplify them and have much less problem being vulnerable. That's a difference in the ways that men and women behave in the world. Now, the reality of this situation is that all these agendas are rooted in the personal sexual social agenda of these female leaders. And you don't need to make a guess of this. She outright tells us this.
You ever feel guilty about not being around for your children enough?
I feel guilty a lot. I compare myself to the women who are, at-home mothers with their kids. I think I'm a little intimidated, to be totally honest. And then I think because we all feel a little bit insecure about our own choices, we get pitted against each other.
Do you think most women feel guilty about the choices that they've made?
Every woman I know feels guilty about the choices they're making, including myself. In fact, I feel so guilty. I wrote a whole book about it.
Okay, so there you go. She tells us that the motivator for her doing all this is actually validating herself and her own life choices. That's it. Why is this a problem? So she is looking out for the interest of Sheryl Sandberg, Miss Billionaire CEO. The problem with that is she's destroying the interactions between men and women at large.
For men, leadership, power, ambition are unambiguously good words. As men get more successful, lead more, they're better liked. For women, those things are not encouraged and actually actively discouraged because all of us, men and women alike, we dislike women who are more successful. And we can change this if we start associating leadership qualities with women.
Myself as a man, the way I would look at this problem is, okay, this path that she's promoting is in fact, and she just said this, causing men and women to hate each other. This is rooted in our biology. But we also want to have men and women be prosperous and successful and secure. They need to look out for them.
He wasn't listening too well, was he?
No.
Oh, women talk and it's just, it's just noise to him, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Fills in the blanks that fits his agenda.
It's that selective hearing,
Well, and that's a straw man. Like, he's building a straw man against what she actually fucking said. Yes.
Yeah.
Big one.
Straw man with false equivalencies.
Wow.
Because being short, being bald is not equivalent to being a woman versus a man. Very different. False equivalencies throughout. This
guy angers me.
I think he's probably pissed off because he maybe didn't get a promotion that a woman did.
Is it wrong that I feel like he has a really punchable face, though?
No.
Or is it just his mouth? I can't tell.
Yep. I completely agree.
All right.
Let's listen to the rest of this straw man argument.
So what we would do is look at solutions that will enable that, but also enable men and women to like each other and to be happy without destroying the dynamics between men and women, to validate the ego of a billionaire CEO, which is what's going on here. So that's your big number one, is that these women in positions of power are advocating their own social agenda above everything else. And number two is that they're more likely to be intellectually dishonest and manipulative and decide all these bogus studies. You see that everywhere, and I give 3 quick examples and videos here, so take a look.
The husband who does the laundry, it's very romantic when you're older, and it's hard to believe when you're younger, but it's absolutely true. Actually, the studies show this. Husbands who do more housework have more sex with their wives.
There's studies that show this?
Studies that show this.
I can hear the men running off to the laundry
That's
machine right now.
Everywhere I go, men, usually CEOs.
Pause. Okay, first let's get the super chat. And then we're
Yes,
going to
please,
dissect
we
it.
can. Jenny Morgan for $4.99 said, "Being a woman is the absolutely best thing about my life. Period. Hands down, without a doubt. And having a hoo-ha chest things is pretty great too."
Thank you very much, Jenny.
Oh my God. So I just wanted to call out here that one, yes, having a partner doesn't have to be a man. It can be a woman. It can be a man and woman. It can be a man and man. It can be a woman and woman. It can be whatever you desire. I don't care. But having a partner who understands and respects what you're doing outside of the home, whether it be you're in a physically laborious type job or a mentally laborious type job, and who wants to share in equal responsibility with housework, is extremely sexy.
Oh yeah.
There's no lie in that. To come home every day from work, and if I'm working later than they are, and to come home and see, hey, they took the initiative to cook dinner and they changed out the laundry. That to me is more attractive than if I came home to a bouquet of flowers.
Yeah, yep, exactly.
And there is truth in that. But to make that a weapon against having women leadership is just flat out fucking bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I would want to be appreciated for doing the same thing. If I'm in a 2-income household and I come home from work before them and I cook dinner and I change out laundry, I would really hope that my partner would find that extremely attractive and appreciate it. And I would want the same in return. Right? So,
Yeah.
Right.
I just wanted to point that out.
So I completely agree.
Yep. Okay, Bull, let's keep going.
Because most of them, our CEOs, say to me, "You are costing me so much money." Because all the women want to be paid as much as the men. Exactly no progress in closing the wage gap for women in this country. Since 2002, women across the board have been paid 77 cents to the dollar. If you're a woman of color, African American women are paid 64 cents, Latinas are paid 54 cents.
Okay, so there you go. Those are some examples. Now, on the gender pay gap thing, I did a video on that if you want to check it out. The link's right there. But what that is it's the median total earnings between men and women. Doesn't take into account profession or hours worked or expertise or experience. And when you do those things, the gender pay gap is reduced to nothing. Sheryl Sandberg knows that, and she cites this study to advance her agenda and talking points anyway. So there you go. And that also leads into the third thing, which is that they use intersectionality and identity politics to advance all these goals. So when she starts citing different demographics, she knows that when we look at white women, a lot of these, they're getting all kinds of unfair advantages. Now that that pendulum is swinging so far that direction, we're seeing more and more of this intersectionality and starting to look to other demographics to cite studies and pitting groups again.
Him using the word goals like a dirty word for women wanting to be paid equally to men is just absolutely despicable. That made me sick to my stomach the way he said it.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is that in my current job, I do work in a man's world, quote unquote. I'm in data analytics and computer programming and process improvement, which you don't find a lot of women in. I'm generally surrounded by and working with a bunch of men. And they're very analytical, they're very smart. I have a lot of respect for the people I work with, and they have a lot of respect for me. But I will also say with clarity that I know they make more than me, and I probably possess a few more skill sets than they do when you account for my Six Sigma training, my Harvard Business Analytics degree, all of those things. I probably have them beat on education and experience, but they still make more money than me.
Right. Yeah, I'm STEM, so I mean, it's getting better, but when my first degree was in astrophysics, and part of the reason I moved on into climate science was because it was just completely a man's game. Like at the time, this was a little bit ago, not super old, but it was a little over 10 years ago, and it was hard because being a woman in that environment coming up, it was really, really hard, and STEM is like that. So
yeah, well, you've got STEM and I've got math. Which go hand in hand. They go hand in hand, honestly. I math really hard all day, every day. That's basically what I do, you know what I mean? But I'm
super
just
hot, Ilya, by the way.
What? That I math really hard every day, every day?
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I love math, so I got it.
Yeah, me too. Actually, my boyfriend and I, he bought a series of math books on how to, and we're actually going to read them together.
Oh,
I'm gonna help teach him some math. So yeah, and we read together, and we are reading the Dr. Becky book right now. I can't think of the name of it. Punchy, if you're in the chat, put the name of it. But it's the one about the flat Earth. I can't remember the name of it. But yeah, we're that kind of dorky couple. So
That's awesome, though.
Yeah. Alrighty, Bull. Shall we continue?
Hang on, we have a super chat.
Oh yeah.
We have a super chat.
Dick Dawson for Canadian $5 said, "I am the best super chat reader ever. All bow down to me."
Hail Dick Dawson. Hail Dick Dawson.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes, he is.
Matt has become an integral part of the show, and I think he needs
he
an
has.
avatar.
Yes. Yeah,
I think he needs an avatar on set.
Yes.
He does.
Alrighty, let's move on with this, Bull.
Each other to advance their own personal agenda. That's your big number 3. So there's one last thing I wanted to add to this video, which is hilarious, is that the interview that I used for this, the woman, you can take a look at how she asked her this final question.
Does it bother you that there hasn't been a woman president of the United States?
Yes, it does.
Why wouldn't you lean in and run?
And what's funny here is that this woman is keen on Sheryl Sandberg's manipulation, and you see that in the ways that she gets really annoyed and irate with her, and she basically hates her. By the end of the video, you can see it in the way that she's doing the interview, and that's because other women are keen on women's manipulation. And what's going on here is that the reason why women think men are stupid and men think women are stupid is kind of down to this difference in the way that we interact with people. So this woman doing the interviewing is highly aware of all this manipulation going on, because that's women are more likely to think about this social stuff than men are, whereas men kind of think about these abstract concepts. So women have difficulty understanding the abstract concepts that guys think about a lot, and so guys think women are dumb, but they got the same brain power. They're thinking about stuff. They're thinking about the social stuff. So women think men are dumb because they don't pick up on this social manipulation and all these things going on. So that's a pretty good takeaway there, and I just thought it was really funny how this woman was getting really annoyed by the end of the interview. So I linked that in the description if you want to check out the full interview. And if you guys want a custom video made for yourself, check out my Patreon. You can buy that. And also, we're doing some really cool things on the Patreon community. We partnered with a fitness company in Latin America who's producing these awesome videos that are gorgeous fitness models to teach you guys how to box. If you go on the Patreon community for $5 is what the current price is, and if you sign up for that, you'll get all the videos.
Or Gordon's Fitness. Is this all women are good for to him? What the actual fuck is wrong with this douche?
Who the fuck is supporting him on Patreon anyway?
I'm
just
cutting off
curious
his advertisement. We're not going to watch the rest of that one.
Yeah.
No, that is some bullshit. So you're going to knock the women down who are educated, intelligent, and have great jobs, but you're going to promote the super good looking models who can show you how to be fit by jumping up and down. What? Yes, jumping up and down and having your boobs bump up and down on the screen is really educational. It teaches a man which hand is more dominant. That's all it does.
Pretty much.
Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with these guys? I mean, I'm not shitting you.
I don't know how else to classify it, but
this man has zero common sense. He is spewing a bunch of hatred and a bunch of bullshit about women who have risen to power in their jobs. Why? Why not be proud of these people? Why not just be proud that this person went through the work to educate themselves and build themselves up and rise to the top? Why? Why does it have to be a competition? Why can't it be more power to you?
Right. Exactly.
I think I have an answer, Ilya, because he's literally too stupid to do the same thing.
Right.
Like, or too lazy, one of the two.
Yeah,
I have to question if he got beat out for like a promotion or a job to a woman, and that's why there's this hatred towards women in jobs like this.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's some like third grade girl upstaged him in the spelling bee or some shit.
Yeah, she won the spelling bee and he was like second or something.
On his shoulder for the rest of his fucking life. So,
I mean, I work in an office position, and Punchy is of course a driver. He's a semi driver, but if I wanted to become a semi driver, I could learn and do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he could just as easily learn what I do and do it, right? It's all about what you're willing to put the work in to do.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So I just think it's a bunch of bullshit. I think this guy is a fucking twatwad. And
Yeah.
Yes. A cockwomble, as Auntie Jenny
It just
says.
seems like a lot, like he's just intimidated more than anything.
That's some bullshit. That's some bull. And I will tell you right now, the part of it where women are manipulating their husbands to cook and clean. No, if I come home, like I said, after we both work, and I come home because let's say he gets home before me and he's cooked dinner and changed out laundry and done a few things, I'm going to find that extremely sexy. So yeah, he may get more sex than the husband who gets off work before the wife and goes home and slouches down on the couch and does absolute jack shit and waits on her to get home and says, "What's for dinner?"
Yep.
So hint to the men out there. Help your partners out.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
You'll get more sex, I guarantee it.
That's right. If you're in a partnership, it's 50-50, not 99-1.
The same, but the same goes true for women who stay at home, or partners. I
Yes.
shouldn't say women, partners that stay all home and do nothing.
Right.
Yes,
Because
I agree.
that happened to me, and that's one of the reasons I'm divorced today, is because I would work my ass off all day, then be asked to go grocery shopping, then be asked to come home and cook dinner, didn't get to sleep till 11, had to get up at 4, go back to work and do it all over again the next day.
Right,
That was my life for years.
But men do that too. I was in a relationship like that a long time ago, where I was the one who worked and did everything, but also took care of the home as well.
Oh yeah, men do it too. Women do it too.
I've been on both sides of that.
Yeah, it definitely goes both ways, but yeah. It's not a fun place to be in, for sure.
No.
Doorknob head, but the uncalled for said, if I washed a dish, I'd get more cuddles.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
gosh.
Factard crosspuncher. Did you hear what they said? Help out your hand and your hand will help you.
Oh my God, you guys.
The side chat is so entertained sometimes.
Jenny Morgan, if you ever ask what's for dinner, the answer is whatever you cook.
Yeah. Atlanta. Sometimes the side chat is better than the videos, I swear.
Yes, definitely.
All right. We'll just pick the last one for the night. I don't think we're going to get through all 5, but we'll get through maybe one more. So.
All women are queens. If she breathes, she's a god!
Hey guys, it's PJ with Mission, and what today's topic is going to be about is why women do not deserve your respect. Now, before you go off the handle, if you're a woman or one of these blue-pilled dudes, what I'm talking about is confusing courtesy, which all people are entitled to default courtesy, is different and not to be confused with respect that if is granted to everyone is worthless. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why if you're one of these guys that's running around, respect all women, treat women like human beings, and believe all women, believe victims, any of this stuff, why so many people are treating you with disgust and hatred, both men and women. So, before we jump into it, this is an MGTOW channel, a MGTOW channel, and a Red Pill channel. If you like that type of content, please subscribe and you'll get more just like it. And you will also be supporting the mission to Red Pill Men. With that being said, let's jump into it.
Dumb. Why does he
Okay guys, so to give you the 3 reasons on why it's such a big problem and people are so annoyed when you confuse courtesy and respect, I'm going to give you 3 reasons. Number 1, we're going to talk about the origins of what all these blue-pilled idealisms and all these rules for what is considered idealistic masculinity in Western civilization started, are actually tied to white knights themselves. Knights. It started in the 10th and 11th century in the medieval Europe. We had guys that were being hired out as mercenaries and soldiers for the elite in medieval Europe, knights. And they were heavily armored, violent, masculine males that were going out and raping and pillaging and burning the countryside. And they were thugs. So in order to control these guys, what happened over the decades and centuries is that the elite exploited their masculinity, their positive masculinity traits, and started to promote these stories and codes of conduct that would make it both easier to control these men and give them a better image so that it was easier for them to go in and out of these villages and basically enforce the will of the elite noble class. Now, what I mean by that is you basically had these soldiers, mercenaries, these rough, tough dudes that were by no means what we look at in the Disney stories, right? And they started to teach the youth, the guys that they wanted to go enforce their will from age 16 to 28. They would say, well, your goal, the noble knight, a noble cause, is he goes out there and orchestrates and does all these great deeds. And
Let's do the super chat first, and then I want to talk
Yes.
about how he has history completely wrong.
Jenny Morgan for $1.99 said, "This guy pounds his pud to the Sears catalog."
Good one, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
Well, first of all, I also want to give out to I want to give a shout out to the Godless Scummer for my new favorite word, which is wank puffin. Thank you for that.
Jenny
That's
Morgan, you're my hero, to quote Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. You're my hero, Jenny Morgan. I love you.
You're my hero.
Godless Scummer just gave me my new favorite word, wank puffin. So this guy's a wank puffin.
I love it.
First of all, he doesn't even get history right.
Well, I mean, are you surprised?
No, but like it's like his intro is learning, activities, science.
This is his science channel. You know he's got another history channel, right? Where he knows all the history.
It should be bullshit, lies.
But it's funny, he calls him a science dog, and I have yet to see any science.
I don't think he knows what science is, and it still just bugs the fuck out of me that he spelled it wrong to begin with. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's just wrong. It's just wrong.
Oh my gosh, this is so stupid. Like this, you know, this is so wrong. Like he has the history completely wrong in this. Like what the actual fuck?
I know.
If you're gonna get down here and look like an ass, at least look like an honest ass.
Right.
Oh, we have another super chat.
Yes, we do.
We got another super chat, Maddie.
Yeah.
Can you see it?
Heliox 575 for $5 said, "This guy stupid hurts my brain. And his understanding of history is based purely out of Hollywood interpretation of author and legends."
Good job. Thank you so much.
That's very true, Helios. He has this Hollywood ideal of what history was like, but it's nothing like it actually was at all.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
okay, let's go on.
then he will come back and will win the favor of a fair maiden, a 15, 16-year-old girl at the time, in a castle. So they would use that as a motivation to get these guys out there to be all excited about going and waging warfare for the elite class. They had the carrot on the stick of the fair maiden in the castle once they went and did these noble acts. And then they had codes of conduct for what was considered moral and what wasn't. All of these at the time, 10th and 11th century, and over those years, was basically to serve the interest of the ruling class. So it would not be considered noble to go burn the countryside and take advantage of all the women. And then there were some codes of what was considered honorable and what wasn't, but it was in the interest of the elite class. Now, what happened over the centuries, the 18th and the 19th century, is that cultures in Western societies, Europe, started to romanticize that, and the United States, of the idealistic form of masculinity. So that's the beginning of what we know of the Disney blue-pilled world of all the white knights, which is basically to default respect women as one of the rules that is considered the ideal form of masculinity. But there's several different things that we could take away as far as what all these blue-pilled idealisms were instituted in Western society to control men and put them on the path that the elite wanted them to go on. So that's it. It's an interesting story, an interesting thing to think about. Idealistic masculinity in Western society.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Citation fucking needed, you asshole.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, he needs to cite his sources there. That's
I guarantee you, he can't even fucking spell citations. So
I mean, he messes up science there at the beginning, and then he has to erase it.
Erase it and go back.
Well, why would you put that in your video? I don't understand. I just don't.
I don't either. Okay, we had a
We just thought it was
chat.
cute once he did it.
Yeah, we did.
Got a couple of them.
Godless Scummer for £5 said, I think Science Doc probably graduated from the JM Truth Academy of Scientific Excellence. And Christ Puncher for Canadian $2 said, Punchy is the man.
That's awesome.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate it.
This asshole one has everything wrong, and and you heard it, the Disney princess. He's getting all of his references based on these fairy tale stories, make believe fiction. He's not actually.
Well, that's what he's spewing anyway.
He's right, but he's not actually reading actual historical documents to get the facts right. Okay, let's go.
Society is rooted in white knights and that narrative. And why this applies to this topic is that if you can't understand that these blue pill idealisms and the Disney fairy tale romance is bullcrap and baloney, and a lot of it is designed to exploit you, the majority of men and women have figured this out by now, that all those blue pill fairy tale stories are bullcrap. And if you're one of the guys that hasn't figured that out, a lot of people are just going to consider you weak-minded, easy to manipulate, and they're just not going to respect anything you have to say. So that's number one. Number two is that your respect is worthless. So if you adopt this mentality where you're defending the honor of women you don't even know and saying that you should respect all women, you are giving your respect away for free. So if your respect is given away for free, no one will value it and no one will reciprocate it to you. So both men and women will treat you with hatred and disgust for throwing out your respect for free. Respect all women. Whereas the guys that
What, you girls don't love it when men treat you like total garbage to show you their dominance?
No.
Oh, I don't know that woman over there, so I'm gonna call her a slut. But my woman, she's, she don't deserve respect for this woman because I know her deserves respect. Excuse me?
I swear to you, I think Chris Vick.
He's a bad human.
I swear to you, I think Chris Vick is like a psychic tonight because fuck this fucking bullshit is exactly what I was thinking.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Putting it into words. Fuck that shit face needs a butt plug. Yes, Chris Vick, you're reading my mind, man.
Oh my God, Chris. Oh.
You know what I'm thinking? Just see his comments in the chat.
Wow.
I don't. No, just no.
Oh my God.
Respect is both mutual and earned. And
yes,
if you're like me, I actually follow the principle of charity, which means that I provide the principle of charity by giving someone respect upon meaning. I'm not going to be disrespectful. It's not until they give me a reason.
I think most decent human beings act that way.
Yes. Right. And like Jenny Morgan said, look at his T-shirt, the collar. The putz can't even do laundry correctly. Look at that.
I mean, you treat someone you're meeting the way you want to be treated. So if you come out of out of the gate swinging like an asshole, what the fuck do you expect is going to happen?
Right, and as humans, we all deserve respect until we prove that we don't deserve respect.
And
it's not about who you personally know.
Yeah.
Maybe we should introduce him to Copeland so he can pay for his sugar. Maybe to come do his laundry.
I feel like it would be just combining two forces of super idiocy that might erupt into a supernova. So maybe not. Maybe not.
I mean, I've always thought it'd be cool to see a supernova in my lifetime, but not that kind.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
that close.
Not that close and not that kind. Okay, so Bull, let's try to finish this out. If you can, chipmunk it a little.
Actually hold women to a similar standard that they do to men, make women earn their respect. The women respect those men more, and are more likely to be romantically attracted to them and treat them better. So that's why, we see all these white knights throwing the guys that are actually getting the attention and the positive attention from women under the bus. They're always calling them whatever name, meathead or player or abusive or all these other things that basically supplicate to the feminine narrative in order to denigrate that guy in the hopes that they might have a chance with the women. But that leads into the next point. But the second point is that your respect is worthless, so people won't respect you. So that's the second reason that people treat you with disgust and hatred when you give your respect away for free for women. And one other thing I want to add to that is that you're lying to other men and you're putting them in that trap. So you're causing harm to other men, by, especially young men, by telling them to respect women by default, because it will put them in that position where they will be treated very poorly because people won't respect the white knight, simp, beta, cuck, or whatever you want to call them, right? So if you're an older dude, people will judge you for that behavior because you're causing a lot of pain and misery for other guys. So anyway, that leads me into the third and final point on why people hate you so much when you say this stuff that seems so good-natured to you. And that is that it comes off as subversive and manipulative. So when you go out there championing women, looking out for the honor of women you don't even know, throwing other guys under the bus, calling them misogynist or whatever, the majority of the time, guys, doing that, the overwhelming majority, they want something. Most of the time, they're trying to win the favor of women by saying respect all women, believe all women. So they are usually trying to win the favor of women. So it's a subversive, sneaky, slimy way to try to get in the inner circle of women, become a beta male orbiter, and usually those guys have some kind of ulterior motive, and people don't like that. People don't like you're being sneaky, subversive, kind of working your way in these shady ways, and they also don't like it when you are denigrating and attacking other guys. That shows weakness as a male. So those are the three reasons. You're manipulative and subversive, you're naive and easy to manipulate, and you're causing a lot of pain and misery for other people. So with all that being said, that's why you get such a negative response for something that you think sounds so good. But I'm also going to provide a solution to this. If you are one of these guys that is doing this, please stop. You can continue if your belief actually is one that isn't horrible and disgusting. All you need to understand is that courtesy is something that all people deserve. So don't confuse courtesy with respect.
So you can say all people deserve courtesy, women, children, elderly, other guys, default deserve courtesy, but respect is earned or it is useless, and then there's always massive, massive problems when we adopt the talking points of these guys that don't know the difference. So that's it, guys. I hope you like this video. Please drop a comment, let me know what you think, and share it if you ever see these dudes talking about respect all women, and hopefully this will help them correct the errors that they're making when they don't really understand why that's such a problem. So we'll see you next time.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Respect all women, people. Respect all people. I mean, there are a handful of people who don't deserve respect, but I'm pretty sure they deserve to be in jail.
Right.
So, in general, respect each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, just respect your fellow humans. Come on. We're a little bit
What
better
kind of
than
world
that.
do you think we would live in if we treated each other the way he expects men to treat women that they don't know?
It would be a very disgusting and sad world.
Would be,
Yeah.
Yes, it would be.
Yep. It'd be crap.
Well, I don't know about you ladies, but I have seen about all of the disgusting, stupid, misogynistic, narcissistic shit that I can handle for tonight.
Yeah, I think so.
You're welcome. I'm always so great at picking the videos. So let's do a roundtable roundup. Let's start with our guest, Amanda. First of all, thank you again for joining. We hope you had a fun time regardless, and we hope you don't walk away from here too angry.
No, I'm good. This is better than I can handle this more so than I can science deniers. They really piss me off. So, and I had to talk with a flurf like a week and a half ago, and my head exploded. So yeah, this was much easier. Thank you for having me.
I hope you had a really good time, and we definitely enjoyed having you on. You fit right in. We'll definitely look to have you back in the future for sure.
Absolutely, I'd love to come back.
Yeah.
So, Glober Mom, final thoughts.
Just treat everybody like you want to be treated. Seems like this idiot probably gets treated like an idiot, so there you go. And like I put in the chat, y'all respecting us women is trying to win our favor, so there you go.
SciStrikeling, what are your thoughts?
Oh man, I mean, we had a nice variety of stupid tonight, and just the way that these men look at women, and especially they feel intimidated and stuff like that. I almost to some degree feel sorry for them, but then they just keep running their mouths, and I feel a whole lot less sorry.
Right. No doubt. Bull, you're the one behind the controls, but I want to give you a moment to wrap up your thoughts.
Well, like I said before, MGTOWs and to a greater extent incels are really shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to that shit. Like, why would it's like that meme where the guy shoots it and blames someone else for the problem, right? Why would why would women do this after he shoots a woman? So, like, you're an incel, but you're blaming women for being an incel, when it's your attitude towards women that makes you an incel in the first place.
Yeah.
So, you people are the common denominator. Incels and MGTOWs, you're the common denominator. There's plenty of guys, ugly, fat, people that genuinely shouldn't breed that for some reason have children. And there's no reason in the world that you're not, other than your attitude.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Aimee, final thoughts.
Yeah. They're just spewing poop. I mean, just absolute poop. I have someone sitting beside me here. So, yeah, it's just the guy with the history he cherry picked, so it sounds like it's going by his beliefs, not what actually happened back then or anything like that. He's just wow. And then it's the whole thing is just ridiculous. And Copeland whining again, that's all he does. He just whines and whines and whines because he needs help. You can't be that unhappy and keep, what I mean? It's just no, I don't get that. So yeah. But everybody just treat each other nicely, stay safe, stay home, social distance, and please wash your hands, okay? And when you sneeze, cover your nose, right? And mouth, right? Right, with your elbow. Yeah? Do you want to say something? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job. There we go.
We're not trying to get to 1 million cases in our country, America.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Well, I just want to say that this type of stupid really pisses me off. But there's a reason why we do this show. Yes, we have a good laugh, we poke fun, but at the end of the day, we do this show to call attention to the bullshit that's out there and what we as a community can do to shed some light on it and put our voices out there as a voice of reason and a voice that is unified against this type of rhetoric and behavior. So remember to always treat each other with respect and kindness. I also want to make sure that everybody knows that Momma Atheist channel is in the description. Please go subscribe. Let's get her to 300 and then 500, and let's just continue on because she deserves to be heard. Her platform is great, and I'm excited to see what she continues to do with it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
For sure. So with that said, thank you all for coming out tonight. We love you guys, and we will see you next Sunday.
Good night, everybody. Thanks.
Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Good night, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.